be coming back for you one day.
Hello and welcome to round 1 of the WEC Season 2 Championship with me, your commentator El Fernandez for this race. Had a few technical difficulties with the recording of the race, but now we're live and going, and as you can see, the drivers are just on their warm-up lap, the formation lap, as you could, leading in the safety car, I believe, is Spazzy Pingu, just so Lotus 128 can film this, and many thanks to him for filming this. But now it is green by the looks of things. Yes, it is, and so here we go, Alan, into turn 1. Nocturne have actually got a very good start. Caught Aston Martin off a bit, but the straight line of the Aston Martin has proven to be very good here. And oh! Nocturne's gone wide. Nocturne has gone wide, and Aston Martin already takes the lead of this race. Optimum Motorsport third. Is that Hopkins GP in fourth? It is. Trip Racing fifth, and sixth is Lucasade Racing with Army. I think that's Nickno. Only for this guy. Oh, what? That's the Hopkins that's gone off, and there's the Lucasade that's gone off, and cars flying everywhere. Look at the out lead Aston already has. This is already turning to be a bit of a spectacle. Nothing is won, obviously, in the early stages, as proven by the pre-season event. So here we go, lap 2 of this half-hour race, and it is Sam Steamer and the Aston Martin leading. Mugen in the Nocturne second, Optimum Motorsport with New Beaver in the car at the moment third. And then a little way back is Hopkins GP, I believe. And that's Lucasade pitting. Taking a very early pit stop. Lap 3 as Sam Steamer across the line. The gap is ever increasingly getting bigger.
Pit lane's quite long. So it's Aston Martin, Nocturne, Optimum Motorsport, Hopkins, and Trip. Trip's keeping up tabs.
We'll have a look at this battle towards the rear of the...
Top 3 pretty spaced out. Hopkins
rear of the field between, well, I say rear, this is kind of the midfield. That's Hopkins GP and Trip Racing. Trip Racing, I suppose, trying to cut down the lead. Or is it Hopkins that is actually gaining a bit of a lead?
Oh, Nocturne gone wide! Nocturne in the wall! Nocturne in the wall! Optimum Motorsport are now into third place!
Yes, that is... Position
I don't
change.
know what he's with Mugen
Optimum
today.
Motorsport have overtaken.
It was really quick in qualifying, but the first 2 laps he's made catastrophic
Nocturne
mistakes.
for second place,
He's
and as you can see by the sheer dominance,
and we got nearly blue
for
we're
Aston Martin have pulled up almost a quarter of a lap lead on second place.
Nick no one's been blue flagged.
Is coming to lap.
And yeah, he's
Racing, which has gone well off into the grass.
I'll keep an eye on that. He might join
New Beaver.
That's okay. An Optimum Motorsport got a little bit on the cut, but they slowed down. That's okay.
He kind of messes it up a bit.
Nocturne right behind them. No.
Who gets it a bit sideways out of the second part of the chicane.
Nocturne versus Optimum
Motorsport battle. Oh, and the Nocturne's got sideways. I think there was a contact.
Contact or something, but they've lost a bit of time. We're on about lap 4 of the race.
So. I really lost count of
that at the moment. In second place,
but we are
third, Nocturne,
about 2 minutes
and Trip Racing, and Lucas, and
Four.
Hopkins. I keep getting Lucas.
Really shouldn't be counting laps.
Keep guessing.
Because obviously it's a time-based race. This is an interesting thing here.
Oh, Trip Racing going very sideways into the turn.
And Hopkins
you managed to hold it there.
Still battling
Good driving,
out.
By Montemax and
it looks like Hopkins down the straight has the raw speed.
And Nocturne pit as Optimum, I think going a little bit wide.
I believe that
Nocturne
is
pits. Let's keep an eye on that stop.
Montimax in
now Nocturne
making a bit of a return.
Into the pit comes Nocturne.
Leaving skilled F1 racer.
No driver change for Nocturne yet again.
Come to this race. And skilled is now with Nocturne, but has not attended to the race yet. So Nocturne pits.
This is where Mugen's going to lose time, I think.
Obviously no driver swap.
He's going to be in clean air though. That's the main
teammate is not here.
Point. We've had about
the
3
order
minutes
at the moment, as that is the Aston coming to lap the Nocturne after its pit stop. So it is Aston.
Oh God, Sam Optimum. Oh dear.
I believe then Hopkins, Trip, and
Oh, Sam's gone wide. He's gone wide.
then Lucas Sage
That's
Racing.
gonna
And
lose
there you go. There's
How
the
did Nocturne get lapped?
Aston going past,
What's that?
and
That must be the length of the pit
Motorsport
stop.
coming into turn 1.
Pit lane is very long,
So
but
it's quite a
yeah,
lengthy
no,
lead
I didn't
here.
expect them Nocturnes to come up
So you
right
can
in front
tell
of
that
it.
the Astons have built the
Now
car
Nocturne's be
correctly.
careful here. They've got to
It
get.
really does suit the
Yeah,
driver.
if much faster than
We're
the
gonna watch this
Aston,
little action here.
then they can lap. But if they're not, they're
Nocturne
going to
probably
keep
going to do
behind.
all
and
in their
just
power
get
to
out
try and
half's
at
way
least
there.
slow down the
Optima
Aston.
Motorsport have gone wide, and
Or at least try
Lucas
and
Aid.
keep up with it because
I don't
obviously
know.
they need to
Optima
pit.
Motorsport seems to be a bit struggling at the moment.
There you go. Optima
Waiting for the
Motorsport
stops.
lapping
We're about
Lucas Aid.
3 or 4 minutes in. We started safety car about
As we come to around about, I think it's the
about
5-minute era
5:28.
of this, so 5 minutes gone.
Yeah, we're about 5
5
minutes
to go,
in.
I believe. Yep, I think that's right.
5 minutes into the race
So,
on lap 6 or
Yeah, about a half a lap gap now
race.
from,
Trip racing
maybe a
on the
bit
road
more
now.
from the Aston. So
Well, they passed the
Aston, due to its long straights,
Hopkins there.
and quick corners. I mean, the
So we
skins,
didn't see that.
although they are pretty tight, they can be
Lucas
taken
keeping
quite
up on
easily.
Motorsport, so they've got pace, but
Really suiting
use it, but
the track.
so they
So
keep
I
being
wonder what
gained
it'll be
back on
like
time
when it comes
on
to
Trip and Hopkins
street
and
circuits.
there.
And
I think Luke, there's 3
slightly smaller
battles, 2 battles out
circuits,
there.
because
Oh, well,
I
there's
don't know,
2
it seems to
groups
favour
here, I
the
think.
straights and
One for the battle for
continuous
4th,
flowing circuits.
and 1 for 1st. And Nocturne go, I think they've
So
spun!
maybe
Nocturne have spun!
Hockenheim is one to watch out for.
He's joining
as
back on the
well,
track.
because obviously you have that back straight.
But
But
he's
it is quite
got a good enough gap
in
to
terms
Optima
of
Motorsport. It won't be in
strengths.
the way.
and quite
But Mugen's struggling today.
tough on corners. So
So I thought it's a
crossing
bit
a
dry.
line again as
Mm.
Optimum.
About
now
oh, looks
approaching
like a
the
little
last
wide,
corner,
waiting
as I
to
think
see any
Aston is
movement from
approaching the
Aston
first
Martin
corner, or even
and
after the
Optima
first
Motorsport
corner.
or Trip and
Uh,
Hopkins.
No more interesting battles.
Hopkins
Oh,
are gaining.
hello,
They've
maybe
gained it
there
over the
is.
Glen. No,
Maybe
can't
there-
overtake
Oh,
there. They
that's
cut the
actually
track,
really
they have to
interesting.
slow down.
That is Trip past Hopkins GP. So the battle that
I
we
don't think they slowed down
saying
enough.
could
That
turn
is
out
cut.
to be something earlier, it has
Um,
its change of position.
I'll keep an eye. Well, we've had a
And
few
I wonder
cuts
if
now.
Hopkins can get that position back.
Karting's. I don't know.
That
Yeah, I think he
is,
has started to back off now.
we
so
should
he
really
might,
stay
that
with
might
that
be a
battle,
let off,
especially because
but-
the leader's going to come up to it.
And
It,
speed. Wait,
cause a
who's
little
speed
bit of
driving
havoc.
for? Who's he being the backup for?
The only two
And he's in
that
the
have
I think that's for Lucas.
and
I
been
think
lapped
it is.
at the same
Oh,
time.
Trip spin! Trip
And that
spin!
Trip got off! Trip's got off! Oh,
And they're
I
close
wonder
to
what happened
Lucas,
there.
oh dear.
Maybe he took the grass after the chicane. Oh, he
Trip
spin
spinning
again.
That's given Hopkins.
Too much grass. Cutting. Oh,
Let's
he's
spin him,
impeded
cut off.
the leader. He's impeded the leader. Oh, there.
We've got to
Now
keep
he's
an eye out.
coming
No,
up
no.
to a.
That's really got in the
now
way of
Nocturne
Samson. But there's
takes
nothing
the position of Trip.
he can really do.
So
But
now it's changed.
it's on
And,
track.
I
And in the
think
pit comes
Hopkins pitting.
Hopkins
so
in the pit lane.
Nocturne
100 is 100
now
pit speed is the
putting
limit.
themselves back into
And into
third
pits. This is
position.
the first driver change. And they've over. Went too
driver
far. They
swap
went
for
too far.
Hopkins. Karting.
And speed
Now
is
going into it,
away.
I believe. I'm not quite sure.
Oh, it's counting. You don't need to count. You
Or
don't need to
just,
count.
there is no driver change, or I have no idea what's going on there. But
And,
Trip
trip as
really
well.
had a bit of a
How much a signaling
bit of
gain
drama
there?
there. Now
That's
it
a-
is Spazzy Bingo that gets
that
into
is
the
a
car, I
massive
believe,
flop there, but
from Monty Max.
oh, a bit of a slow
looks like a slow
change
stop.
from
No,
Trip,
no,
but
it's a
it's
good
they've
stop.
got the
Good
advantage
stop.
of having the last pit stop,
yeah,
and they're coming right
join,
behind.
and he's going to be lapped again by the Aston, which is yet to pit.
And they're
So,
going to be blue
the only
flag
two
now,
teams
not
to not pit
the only
are
people
the
who get to pit are Aston Martin
Or
and
maybe driver swap for that matter.
Optima
This is the
Motorsport.
Aston
And Optima
Aston
Motorsport were
and the
about
Optima Motorsport car,
8
which,
minutes in now. Aston Martin having about
which
17-second
both
gap
have
over
their
Optima
teammates
Motorsport.
here.
They've had a pretty good gap. Optima
We'd
Motorsport
like
have
to
got a
see
gain back.
some
Whoa!
here, but,
I
oh,
just saw an
another crash. and that's
Nocturne and Trip collide. Nocturne were flying.
And
And I
think
don't know what happened to Trip there,
that's
but
just
what
being
happened?
lapped, I believe.
And well, Nocturne lapped. And
It's
I
being
think
lapped,
Trip has
yeah,
been
it is.
Trip lapped. How many times have Trip been lapped? I think they've
So,
been lapped twice.
Trip not doing themselves any favours. I think
If
the
I'm
order,
right.
if I'm correct, is
Or are they
Aston, Optimum, Nocturne.
I don't know. Or Nocturne and Trip on the
Hopkins,
same lap. Let me think.
Trip, and
Trip
then
held him
Luke
off
Sade.
and
Oh,
then
I could be wrong.
track. Did his pit stop?
But
Oh,
I
I
believe
thought
that
spot pit.
is the order
I
of
think
things.
Nocturne ahead.
That's Optimum.
And here we
Optimum's
go.
in, and I
Al
get into
Fernandez
the
now
car.
taking the wheel, and it's a pretty good stop.
Bit of an awkward situation.
He's going to
there.
come out just behind
But,
Lucasade and ahead
so
of Aston Martin.
I'm going to have to
Gonna
narrate
keep an eye
in
out for blue
third
flags
person
there,
here.
because they could be blue
It's going
flags.
to be the most interesting.
Oh, and he's
part
gone wide.
about
Al
this
Fernandez go
season.
wide.
Oh, and I go wide. Last thing I needed, but
Yeah,
oh,
blue
and
flags.
hey,
Al
hey,
Fernandez.
look,
Aston.
there's the Aston trying to take the Optimum. I think I'm going to refer it to.
Hold on, no, wait,
oh,
never mind.
drastic measures taken by the Lucasade
keep
as
an eye.
Optimum trying not to get lapped.
Al Fernandez
But,
never mind. He's going to be
A
blue.
mistake.
Yeah, there we go.
Have no choice to give it back, but I think Optimum will try and do all in their power to cause a little bit of havoc to the Aston.
And in the pits comes Lucasade.
As Mr. 33 has
Tripping
just
last
been
says
given a
Nocturne,
warning for too much verbal, just too much talking and shouting at
Nocturne
the
in third, I
drivers, and
think.
it's causing a bit of a nuisance.
Yeah,
Really,
everyone's
so
pitted
he's
to
been given a
Nocturne in
warning.
third
Next race.
place. Nick Nomon
No.
takes his second stop.
Is that Optimum
We're
trying
playing
to
early.
retake the leader? I mean,
And we
they're-
go.
They're lapped, but
Pretty good stop from Nick No
no,
One.
they're really
He's gonna
causing
come
a
out
little bit of
ahead
havoc
of
here.
the
Let's see
Hopkins.
how this comes to.
And Al Fernandez is faster. He could unlap.
Al Fernandez. And there you go. The Aston just getting away on the straights. It's just surprising because considering it looks like it's a heavier car, when it pulls away in the straights.
Now
I'm
Aston
like,
Martin
that's
are going to lose their
interesting.
massive lead,
Nocturne.
but
Nocturne is on the
ooh,
pounce
and Al Fernandez is looking. This
as
is
well,
an interesting
so
battle.
we'd like to see
And who's
that.
someone spun? I think we've got yellow
So
flags.
everyone's a lap
It's
behind.
Kane. I think
with,
that's Hopkins. It is.
Aston Martin
Can't
yet to
find
do a
the
pit
loop. What an
stop.
optimum
Oh,
spin!
and Aston, that
Oh,
Optimum's
no.
off. Oh dear.
This is a real. We have so many mistakes today.
Just late braking, and that's actually caused.
When are
cost
Aston
them a
Martin
little bit. They
pitting?
want
They've
to
got two
cause a little
stops
bit of
making
havoc to the
No, this sounds like a
Aston.
really long run.
who seems just to be in a prime.
Blue flags. We're going to keep an eye out there.
Just
Blue.
this is probably their best race I've seen so far in the previous season and this
now.
season. I mean, obviously the pre-season is the only.
Yeah,
race I
Hopkins
can
are being blue
compare.
flagged, and he's
Oh, and there's
taking reverse
Hopkins
on track. Nope, he's
taking
been good.
drastic measures and going into the gravel trap. I wonder if he can get out.
And
of
waiting
that.
for
It looks
Nocturne.
like he's-
Nocturne, actually. I
I
just
think
realised
he's
Nocturne.
stuck- No, he's moving.
They're a lap down
Okay.
on Aston Martin there, but
So there
they're
you
quite
go.
close to Optimum Motorsport. So,
So
I
we're
think
coming into
Nocturne
the
have made a
stage
few
where
gains
everything's
here.
a bit spread out. We're still yet a pit stop or driver
but
swap
Aston Martin yet to pit. We're
from
about
Aston.
11 minutes in of the
So,
race,
but by the
almost
looks
half
of
the
things, they're in a
distance.
prime situation. It's such a quite short lap here. It's
And
about
we're gonna
32
change
seconds to get around
time.
this lap. Probably
There
a
we
bit
go.
more as the sun goes down a bit.
Now in the sunset,
I
so an
don't
Optimum
know.
got a little bit wide again.
Which is very useful, but we are roughly around 10
Yeah.
minutes into this.
I'll be a bit concerned though
10,
for
11,
Optimum
12
Nocturne
minutes.
Motorsport, because I mean, sounds to me better lap
around
than
that
all,
area.
but that pit
Hard
stop
to
takes about
say,
almost a lap.
Because
And
obviously I had to film the parade lap.
oh,
the
Sam's gone
formation
wide.
lap,
Sam's
which
gone
was
wide.
much-
Jeez.
well, it takes a little bit more time, so it's a bit hard to guess. But we're coming up to the almost the midway stage. I think we're 30 minutes through.
Nick, no one's got a new run off. He's gonna. Ooh.
Actually, no, a little bit less than that. But you know, everything's settling down a bit.
Nick, no one's gonna have to give way
everything-
to everyone. Luke Zaden
Just
and
everyone getting into their stride, their
I
routine.
think Hopkins having a bit of a
The
lacking
middle
day.
sprinters have got quite a big
today.
job because they have the biggest amount of time in the car. Obviously, with 2 driver swaps.
So, oh,
each
look at
driver's
this.
gonna do
Aston
the
Martin
same
are
amount
going to
of
have a
time.
5-minute stint, so they're going to really
Well,
quick stint from
roughly
the
the same amount of
3.
time. But
So they,
the middle
that's
ones
interesting. So they're
obviously
worried
have,
banking on Sam Simo's driving skills himself,
rather
they
than
can
2
win.
little stints.
and they've missed a really short stint. I don't know. It's
So,
missed having
we'll
problems
see how
or
that
something.
goes. Optimum have chosen a weird.
But Al Fernandez might.
I mean, not weird, but they've chosen.
Fair
New
enough,
Beaver,
but
who
If I have a
seems to
safety
be,
car, then Aston Martin are really
in Al
screwed.
Fernandez's opinion, well, which is my opinion,
But I doubt there'll be a
Uh,
safety car
to be
at
a
the
little
moment.
bit
I
more
mean,
suited
nobody's
to this
really had a
track,
major
so
crash.
he's asked for him to qualify.
In the pre-season event, we had a safety
So the
car.
order,
I think Aston
unlike
Martin went on the grass.
the pre-season race,
Ooh.
is going to be Al
And Sam
Fernandez.
Stamo pits in the pits from Sam
New
Stamo.
Beaver, Elba Fernandez. and
Finally,
New Beaver. Aston have gone with their usual lineup with Sam.
hence the pit
Stemo,
lane. Now
then
let's
Mr.
see.
33, then
As
Sam
Lucas
Stemo
spin.
kind of thing. As Lucasade have spun, not for the first time today,
Sam Stamo enters the pit
and
lane.
now I believe
That's a bit
is going to
fast.
be lapped by the Hopkins. And Lucasade not having the best of
That looks like fast to
races.
me.
They did have a bit of a dismal season last year. They come back, new team lineup, new car, and straight. Oh, that's an Octane that's gone well off. I wonder what happened there. Just maybe just going wide at the full throttle chicane. And then, oh, Trip has crashed in a straight line. He was given blue flags, and that's a warning. That's going to be a warning, or at least something. You cannot reverse on the straight, as he now lets the Nocturne car go through. And look at that Aston lead. It's pretty dominant. Just gonna tell you some news about the WEC season. We've obviously started off in Calder Park. We are then going to go to Adelaide Street Circuit. After that will be Ashway Park, which seems to be a driver's favourite, and it was a really good race last season. And it's not so much having the fastest in a straight line, because to be fair, turn 1 is like 3 apex corner, then you got a chicane, and then another chicane, which pretty knackering out of the car. I mean, the second chicane has been modified, so not so much advantage can be taken out of it. Hairpin, so there's not much for there's obviously overtaking abilities there, but it's not so much if you have a straight line speed car, so it's nothing to be too worried about. So we may see some close racing there. Then we head off to America with races in Long Beach, Baltimore, and Indianapolis, using the MotoGP layout. Or if drivers want, we'll use the, well, you could call the F1 layout, but it's not really the F1 layout. So, because obviously Indianapolis has been changed, the infield has been changed many times. No sign of Aston pitting yet, I believe. So, nothing I've seen at the moment. They will have to eventually, because obviously it's a compulsory 2 driver swap, as Nocturne take their second pit stop. And, well, that's an interesting tactic. See if that pays off. Going for an earlier pit stop. As we get a bit of glitching from the camera that Lotus 128 is using. Yeah, that is pretty glitchy. Like, nice little circle thing though. Right, there we go. It's just adjusted itself out a bit. I say a bit. As Aston still stays out on track. And who's that going slowly? I believe that is Hopkins just letting the Optimum car through. We're now well over, we're at least 18 minutes through, so a pit stop is needed from Optimum. A pit stop, well, Optimum is yet to do a pit stop, but Aston eventually need to do a pit stop unless they've already done it and it hasn't been caught up on the cameras, but you'd imagine it would be. So still no real action being shown. Anyway, back to the calendar. After the American rounds, we then head off to Europe for the last 3 races with Paul Ricard, Hockenheim and Imola finishing it off. So we have quite a lot of races, well, a little bit more than we had last season with 5. We have 9 now. As see another car getting lapped there. I believe that's tripped. Trip Racing. I believe Aston has actually already pitted. As I sneeze. I apologise. And that's an interesting thing. As I sneeze again. I believe that's Optimum catching Aston. So that can only suggest that they actually have had a driver swap, because I believe that's Mr. 33 in the car. As we're now going into this kind of first person view, I don't know, it's weird. Right, here comes Optima around the last corner. And oh, there we go, that's the bit I've been waiting for. Aston have now pitted, and that looks incredibly fast, into the pit lane. And our cameraman has decided not to watch the pit stop. It is pretty quick. And now Mr. 33 into the car. So it's taken them a while. It's, you know, your usual tactics from Sam Stemo, wait late. And there is Trip coming into the pit lane to do their driver swaps. That's 2. So I don't know if Aston are taking a right direction with this. Well, their only threat really is Optimum and Nocturne, who have now lapped themselves, and with El Fernandez in the car, I wonder how the next few laps are going to plan out. As Trip shouts some appeal of some sort, which technically is not allowed, because we've said do not appeal if you're driving, and if so, don't shout. So, in other words, Monty will get a warning, because it has been said, our official, Lotus 128, who's recording this, has been, it's been very generous to official this for us. And I think the last thing he needs is people shouting at him, telling him what to do. So, as Trip now gets out of the way for Nocturne, which will eventually be Aston Martin as well. So they're coming up to lap Nocturne. Where is Optimum Motorsport? Because they're in second position. And by the looks of things, quite a while away. Yep. So Aston maybe have taken the right direction for this, and have actually just benefited from pitting later than the rest, as camera glitching even more on my screen by the looks of things, causing some havoc. As you see Nocturne go past the start finish straight, this is where it gets a bit boring. I think only two teams have only made their second driver swap, and make that 3 as Hopkins comes in. So we yet to see some pit action in this, as we're coming to the later stages of this. Motorsport now coming up to lap the Hopkins that has just been in the pits. So, Hopkins goes off, and we'll have the company of a Nocturne lapping it in a minute. As who is that that has just gone into the pit lane? It is, oh, that's Optimum, and they were actually technically leading this race. I apologise. Obviously the gap wasn't big enough, and there was a bit of a mistake happening in the pit lane. I think this is gonna really affect, because I think the car has also crashed in the pit lane. I don't know. No, it seems to be okay. Driver swap with New Beaver, and now they come out in second quite comfortably. So there you go, both stops made by Optima Motorsport. And now Aston retake the lead. Oh, and there's a safety car. There is a safety car that has been announced. And well, there you go. So that's really jumbled up everything. So we're now just going to get the safety car driver coming out. He's taking the short track to... Oh no, they're all going to the grid. So it's been red flagged, technically. By the looks of it. Yeah, it's been red flagged. And they're going to do a rolling start. So a little bit more drama. And I believe Aston has made their driver swap. If not, they would be in trouble, but I believe so, because Optimum were leading at a stage, so there you go. So the grid goes Aston Martin, Optimum Motorsport, Nocturne, then by the looks of things the Hopkins of Kart it is that has retired or has been in that incident, and I don't think will be continuing any longer. Which is a real shame. They were doing really well in 4th position. There's Tripp now taking up the 4th. And it will be Lucasade 5th if they're still in this. Which is apparently not. So, a little bit of a shame. We've had 2 retirements already into this race. And now we just wait for the restart. So time isn't really stopped for any safety car or anything. However, time can be added on. To fill up. For example, if the safety car takes up almost to the end of the race, then time will be added on. Inevitably, because we never like a safety car finish. As we just go and check our official, just moving the Hopkins, and there is the reason why he has gotten beached on a curb, and probably some problems happened. The driver's out of the car, so there has been some problems. I don't know. Maybe that was gearbox issue or anything like that. Been parked off a bit harshly. As now we've reached next morning in this 24-hour race apparently. So we're just waiting for the removal of the Hopkins car, which has been placed kind of awkwardly on that curb. And kind of taking a bit of the apex as well. So, I don't know, issues with the Hopkins maybe need to be resolved. As Hopkins has been rejoined to the back of this queue by the looks of things. with sub-driver Speed Up, who's done quite a nice job for some of the teams today. He's helped, he's helped marshalling, he's helped just filling in for drivers that can make it, making the action a little bit more, spicy. So he will be in the Hopkins, given that it will start. I think it was just a disconnection from karting, so it will restart. So that's good to hear. We've only actually had one retirement in the whole of this race, and that is Lucasade. Some issues happened, so we're just coming around on this formation lap. We have now gone over the half hour, or almost the half hour. So it will be expected that time will be added on, just a little bit, not enough for like too much action to go on, but a little bit. We actually might see quite a bit of action happen. So taking the chicane as the safety car now peels off. Sam Steamer, unlike the first time where Mugen did not do this, needs to bunch up the group a bit. She has done. I don't know, there's a big gap to Trip, but it doesn't matter. I think that's their fault on this occasion, and it's green, green, green. As we go down into turn 1, New Beaver looking at having a look. Nocturne also having a look. Nothing has been done. There is contact between Trip and Hopkins. That is more, yeah. And Hopkins generously giving the position back. Just good sportsmanship there from the Hopkins team. I believe. Or is that terminal? No, that's good. That's good. As as we have a few technical difficulties with Lotus 128, we see the Hopkins just completely just spinning out, and I don't know, I think that car has issues at the moment. We'll see how it goes. But moving on, we're still on this battle, and the battle that should have been taking majority of this race is now happening in this last few moments, and it is pretty tough. But we're still sticking with this battle for some strange reason, even though Trip is like 4 corners ahead. 3 even. We should really be focusing on this Aston Optimum Nocturne battle, which is going to be the story of the season by the looks of things. We'll see. We've had a few dramas already this pre-season. Oh, look at that. That is... I don't know, Sam Steamer's not driving like he did at the beginning of this race. He's being a little bit more cautious. Oh, he's gone wide! And here we go, Optimum with a chance. No, he shuts the door in Beaver's face. And another lap will go on, I believe. We've had a few minutes on. And that, a bit of... I don't know what that is. That's something in the middle of the track. I think that's a tyre from one of the walls. So still in this battle, Nocturne showing real good straight line speed actually. Catching up to Nocturne in the straight line. And that's the reason why probably the Aston has pulled out a bit, but... Oh! And it's gone off again! And he's cut off the whole chicane. He's slowed down. Good work from the Aston. But that just shows, that just gives to... Oh! That's Hopkins. And having some issues. Well, he's actually letting him pass the blue flag. I wonder if they'll finish this race. It's been quite an up and down race for Hopkins, who will finish pretty much last. Trip have actually had a very good race considering their season. Last season. Their championship last season. But this battle here doesn't look to be at all going to be out. And here we go, last lap. The +1 lap has been given. So We'll see in this last lap if any dramas happen. Everyone keeping it on the road quite nicely. No mistakes by the looks of things coming from any other cars here. No. So, coming to the last corner, unless something like a meteor comes and crushes it. It's been coming. We've waited, but Aston Martin and Sam's team on Mr. 33 wins. Optimum second. Nocturne third, respectively, after starting pole. And I don't know what that is in the pit lane, but I think that's the safety car that hasn't actually been removed. Oh, and the Hopkins. Don't know what's going on with the Hopkins. Hasn't really finished properly. Yeah. Hopkins, again, have retired. And there is Tripp, finishing 4th. Good race for them, actually, considering they beat their main rivals. Nice return for Monty Max, and that is everything, I believe. Yeah, Hopkins didn't finish in the end, and this has been a Lotus 128 production for WEC on Televisión, Roblox Televisión Española with me, El Fernandez. And that's all for now, folks. Stay tuned for next week, Adelaide. Goodbye.